Welcome, everyone. Very sweet welcoming. Always. It's always welcoming. To be always welcoming. There's no effort. Required in welcoming. So let's celebrate this welcoming. This effortless availability. Whatever is needed is available. There is nothing you need to do. So if you can turn your attention to this effortlessness, this relaxation, sort of falling back in a way into God's hands, God's arms. Because the support that we need is always there. When we let go, when we allow ourselves to be guided by the unknown, by that which is, whatever it is, there is no need to know what is going on, because the mind only makes a narrative based on a minute perception, a peak, teeny tiny peak into the infinite. So you can relax your personal identity and allow yourself to be guided without destination, sort of a guidance to presence, guidance to your true home. Only that which is real, which is true, which is absolute, can be your true guide. Only that which is absolutely reliable, unwavering, unchanging. Only that you can depend on. What is it? Is it the knowledge that you have accumulated over the years? Is it the thoughts? Sometimes they appear very strongly, very stubbornly. Are they that which you can rely on to speak, to perceive, to understand, to guide you? Is it your feelings? What's happening in your body? Of course, I am not talking about ignoring that, but is that what you can rely on to understand, to live in peace and harmony with yourself and others? How do we allow ourselves to be guided by consciousness, by that which is and cannot not be? When the question is posed to the mind gets very busy, active. Repeating the past, digging in the old archives, trying to put together various pieces that may appear to be harmonious. What is available to us, besides the old channels of mind activity, in this moment, this open, effortless listening, an interest without knowing what we are interested in, just pure interest. It is not an interest that arises out of the mind. It may come into the mind, but this interest arises out of love, love of truth. And it is not an interest in some sort of better belief structure, better experience. It's an interest that burns through everything. When you put a log in the fire, the log burns. But does the fire burn? What is it to be available in this moment? Complete availability. When we are wanting something, whatever that is that we want, is that complete availability in this moment? Or is our attention and energy divided between desire and being? To notice what's happening in the mind, in the body, for the love of noticing, understanding. Ah, not to trust the narrative on the screen, no matter how etheric or pure it may seem. There is that which is not on the screen. Brahman calling you. We have lived, most of us up to now, knowing what we are: a father, a mother, whatever, a poet, a philosopher, whatever. Trying to be a better somebody. But it hasn't delivered the causeless peace. So we can explore living without knowing what we are. This open interest, this availability, this listening inwardly, outwardly, without any conclusions, without any preconceived ideas or notions about what we are. There is freedom in being undefined, and this freedom comes from truth, from our formless reality. It's not a freedom of somebody. It's our essential freedom, our essential reality in truth as freedom. A freedom that cannot be augmented or diminished. that cannot be taken away or granted. Freedom that does not belong to anybody. So your freedom is God's freedom, universal freedom, shining through your puny mind of this body-mind organism. What is it in every moment that you can trust with complete certainty? A good question to embrace and invite it to guide you. So, if you have any questions, you're welcome to raise your hand. There is an icon in the bottom of the screen. It has the shape of a heart. It's called React. You can raise your hand there. Or you could just raise your hand like. And you're welcome to turn on your video if you care to. So, any questions? Hello, Holger.
I'm Akti. I don't have a question. I just have a deep sense of gratitude and just want to thank you for your gentleness, your wisdom, and your love and your guidance. It's quite profound. Thank you.
Any questions? Hi, Nitin. You should unmute yourself and you can turn on your video.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Appreciate. It was very nice to hear your voice and all the concepts. So it was very profound for me. Just, I don't have a question, but I like you mentioned freedom of living undefined. It was very reflective. So I definitely want to contemplate on that. So looks like you don't have to chase the definition after all, looks like. Is that what you're trying to convey? Like freedom of living undefined, like however you are. So not chasing the definition is fine. Is that what you are trying to convey?
It's more like noticing that whenever you are speaking, behaving, thinking from the belief that I am Nitin, I am this person. So what is it to relate in this moment without this belief? It's happening. There is life unfolding. There are perceptions. There is understanding. There is action. There's a flow. The I am somebody is an unnecessary add-on. We have to check it out. Life is unfolding out of its totality. Sunrise, sunset, rainy days, the flight of birds, the blooming of flowers, the gravitational field, the heartbeat, thoughts appearing, a sensation of hunger, thought about needing to stop at the gas station and fill up the tank. The thought of inviting friends for dinner or going for a walk. Life is unfolding. Without the I am somebody, that's the truth of it. That's the fact of our experience. And then there is a habitual me story. How am I doing? Am I getting better? Am I loved? Am I being loving? All of the patterns picked up over time, that the layers of the onion. So we live accumulating layers more and more, becoming bigger and bigger onion. But if you are peeling the onion, you're not going to come to the center and find the onion. There's no onion at the heart of the onion.
Basically, disintegrating your identity and just flowing through it and not chasing the destination.
Seeing that the identity belongs to the body. Yes, there is a male body that's born in such and such a town, such and such a time. It's to be clear. It's not about disintegrating, it's about clarity. To be clear that yes, there is a body, yes, there is a town, it's called Temecula. Yes, there is a tree, it's like, we call it a pine tree or a palm tree. But there isn't the fact that there are namarupas, names and forms, doesn't mean there is identification, you see. So the conceptualization, a useful aspect of our human dynamics, red light, green light, yellow light, these concepts, they only have functional aspect to them. So in your experience, yes, there are thoughts, perceptions, sensations, there are names and forms, there is Nitin and Magdi and neighbors, etc. There is that. To remain simple and clear, okay, yes, not to attribute reality in the wrong place. There isn't a reality named Nitin. Reality has no name, no form, no age, no gender, no location. No phenomenal qualifications or attributes can belong to reality. They belong to the realm of namarupa, names and forms. But reality only belongs to reality. Right?
Yes.
So when we say I, when you refer to I, what are we referring to?
Extending on what you said about clarity of there is nothingness. There is no question of disintegration because there is nothing at the end. So the age-old question of, like, everybody has the question, thousands of years people are trying to find the answer, like the purpose of then humans. Like, what is the purpose? I know it's a very broad question, been discussed all over, but I'm just trying to see like how it relates to identity or nothingness of identity. I mean, you don't have to answer, it just comes in my mind.
That's a good question. What is going to answer that question? Is the mind going to satisfactorily answer this question? When we say the mind, what are we referring to? We're referring to thoughts which are conditioned, which have concepts in them, and they have historical history in them, the past, right?
Right.
The mind also refers to perceptions, sensations, thoughts, sensations, perceptions, which are constantly moving and changing. The body, sensations within the body are constantly changing, thoughts are constantly changing. So the question about what is the purpose of life, what is going to answer that question? Are we going to get the answer from the shifting, impermanent mind, impermanent world? impermanent body? What do you say?
Can you elaborate your question again, please?
Do you expect that the mind is going to provide you an answer to this question? Would you be satisfied with a dissertation about the purpose of life, the dissertation being all sorts of thoughts and analyses, and would you be satisfied with that?
No, because I believe it's just mental gymnastic. It's just logic, which is not going to give the answer at the end, because that logic came from some other part.
Yes.
I still believe maybe through the heart, which is not logical, no knowledge analysis machine, I might get an answer from that.
So what would satisfy your question?
When I look at things around me, that the manifestation and the non-manifestation, there is a reason for the manifestation. And we being part of manifestation, there might be a purpose. I put might in double quotes.
I understand.
I don't know.
You're asking what is the purpose. I understand. But the question is, what will satisfy your question? I understand the question, but you're looking for satisfaction to your question. What would provide you satisfaction to your question?
Realization that the purpose might be the realization that I am not what I am. Is that the purpose?
Right. Okay. You don't know. You don't know what would satisfy would satisfy your question. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make a suggestion that what would satisfy your question is truth. Would you agree to that?
Yes. True. Correct.
Meaning, when I say truth, and please correct me if I'm speaking not in a way that resonates for you. When I say truth will satisfy my question, I mean by truth that which isn't subject to change. Would you agree with that?
Yes. The absolute truth, yes.
So when I say truth, I'm not speaking about half a truth or a quarter of a truth or a truth that's true in the 20th century and maybe not true in the 21st century, or that will become more true in the 24th century, right? Would you agree with that?
Correct. Yes. Like timeless truth, absolute truth, yes.
And when I say truth will satisfy my question, I'm speaking about a truth that always is. It's independent. It's always there. It's always is. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
Meaning it's right now. It's here. Excuse me, the language here. It's right now. There is this truth must be available right now. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yes.
So then the question is, okay, what is it right now that is absolute, that is changeless, that is absolute? Because if I come to that truth right now, to the understanding of that truth right now, I'm coming to the answer of my question, because my question can only be answered by truth. It cannot be answered by some elaborate mental, philosophical model. Are you still with me?
Yes. Yes.
So in this moment, there are sounds, perceptions, sensations. They have a reality. There is a reality to this moment. Yeah, you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
What is that reality? In this moment, what is that, the reality of sounds, of perceptions? So that's a direction that I'm inviting you to, because your question is a very important question. What is the purpose of this life? And this question can be answered only in this moment by the contemplation of what is it in my experience right now, which is real, which is changeless. And you will find that everything that you perceive on the screen, all thoughts, sensation, perception, constantly changing, but the reality, there is a reality, that their reality is that which will answer the question. Their reality, the reality of experience, is that which is changeless. What is it that is changeless in your experience right now?
So definitely the changeless is the absolute truth, what we call as the reality, which is timeless.
What is your experience? In your experience, I'm talking about in your experience. I'm not inviting you to explain to me, to what in your experience, what is it in your experience right now that is real and absolute?
If I ask my mind, it's whatever my senses are looking at. Through mind perspective, that is my reality.
Wait.
Hmm?
When you ask your mind is going to present you as thoughts, right?
Correct. Yes.
Thoughts are a movement. You agree? Thoughts are a movement.
Yes.
So is reality a movement?
No.
Because movement, we're referring to space and time.
Correct.
So therefore, if you ask your mind is going to answer you with thoughts, sensations, and so it's going to answer you with movements.
Right.
So you cannot ask a movement about reality, because it's only going to give you more and more movement. That's what it does. Mind is movement. It's not the right direction. And ask, what is it in your experience right now, which is not a movement, which is absolute?
Yes. So if I use my mind, it's not going to give me reality.
No.
That means I'm going to use words which I've read and heard, but sometimes it conveys the meaning. So is it that the purpose of us is to realize our absolute truth?
You are answering my question with a different question. I'm asking a specific question, which is in your direct experience right now. What is it that is absolute?
You ask me the question, my logical mind immediately comes into play. So if I leave my mind alone,
So right, exactly.
it doesn't.
Leaving your
I
mind
cannot
alone.
answer it.
Right. Good. Okay, so okay, so I don't know. I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, correct.
That's more true than going to your mind, because you just go into history, so we don't know.
Right.
What is it right now that knows that it doesn't know?
There is something, some observer who is making that judgment, which is not the mind.
It's not the mind. There is something that knows it doesn't know.
Correct.
So that's the direction of the answer to your question, because your question is a very core question. What is this life about? What's going on? What the heck is going on? What is the purpose of this life? It's a very good question. But be careful what direction you go into exploring this question. Don't go in the direction of the mind or people who give you philosophical, whatever. They give you some band-aid. They say, oh, here's your band-aid. Here is what Zarathustra says, here is what Plato said.
Mm.
Your answer has to be truth. Truth. Reality has to be your answer, the answer to the question, not the mind. And reality right now, in this moment, that which is and cannot not be, that which knows that it does not know. Okay, so this is the direction of your contemplation.
Yes. Yes.
What is it that knows that I don't know? Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, the silent observer who is observing.
The answer cannot be if it comes from the mind, it cannot provide you the satisfaction to your question. Okay, you have to be really clear about that, so you stop going in the wrong directions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels for years and years and years and years, and you're not getting the satisfaction to this core question, right?
Correct. Absolutely. So definitely I will contemplate on that. I mean, as you mentioned, I think the focus more on should be the silent observer rather than
Yes,
having an analytical part to it.
beautiful,
So,
beautiful. This is really the heart of our meetings.
mm,
Okay, Nitin.
okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Sure.
Sorry to take a lot of your
No,
time.
no. This is what these meetings are about.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you once again. Thanks.
Any questions? Hello, Eugene. You need to unmute yourself. Yes.
Hi, Magdi.
Hello.
I have a question. Like, how to live free if we understand, if we realize that everything is preordained?
There is that which is not preordained. Let's say that everything phenomenal is preordained. That in 45 minutes, a cat is going to show up here on this patio, and it's going to go meow meow meow. He has no choice. It's preordained. Let's say that. Let's assume that there is that which is not preordained. What is it that is not preordained? What is it that is not subject to time and space? What is it that is not subject to causality? What is it that is not phenomenal? Because let's say that all phenomena is preordained. It's like an album. The whole phenomenal realm is a huge album, and it's just playing. And now we're at, track number 12 or 12 million, and there are another 65 zillion tracks going on. And it's all already pre-recorded and pre-designed. What is it that is not preordained? Because if there is preordained, there is that which is not preordained. You cannot have preordained without the non-preordained. Because time and space, or causality, refers to relationships between various objects or various realities. And there is something which is aware of phenomena and their relationships. When you drop a glass on a tile floor from a certain height, it's going to break. And it's preordained that that at this particular moment you're going to drop the glass and it's going to break. There's no, let's say, no freedom for the glass not to be dropped and not to break. So that's at the realm of phenomena. But there is something which is free from all of that. When the glass breaks, you don't break. When the body, Eugene, dies, you don't die. So preordained refers to some reality that has already designed everything. And so at every exact moment, we know specifically what's going to happen in time and space. So there is a reality that has designed all of that. It doesn't preordain itself. Secondly, preordination refers to time and space. What is the reality of time? What is time and space? We can go to our experience of time. And our experience of time appears to us as memory, for example. Right? For example, you remember, you are muted, Eugene. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. So you remember, for example, last week you went to the beach. So there is time, right? And meaning there is a memory. Memory is a thought, right? But there is something that perceives the thought. A memory doesn't perceive itself. A thought doesn't perceive itself. You're following? Oh. And space, space refers to perception. There's a mountain over there. There is milk in the refrigerator. There's a perception of refrigerator and something inside the refrigerator. So the space and perception, perspective, for example, we perceive a certain distance. And we can estimate, okay, this must be 200 meters. This must be 100 meters. So there is something, so space refers to perceptions, and there is something that perceives. The space doesn't perceive itself. So, yes, if you predetermination referring to time and space and to events in time and space, there is also the aspect of awareness, of consciousness. So that is not preordained. So, two things. First, who cares if everything is preordained? Everything phenomenal is preordained. Who cares if this body, mind, named Magdi, is going to die tomorrow? So what? Let's say that there is no choice about it. And why should there be a choice about it if it's preordained? But there is awareness, consciousness, which is what I am. And that is not preordained. That is non-phenomenal. That is not subject to phenomenal events. Now, if you believe yourself to be Eugene, then you say, oh my goodness, I have no freedom because everything is preordained. If you believe yourself to be Eugene, you have no freedom because every thought that you're having is preordained. Every breath that you're having, everything that's going to happen in your world is preordained. So where is your freedom? As Eugene, zero freedom. It can be very depressing. It's like, what's the point? Right? But we all have the sense of freedom. We all know that there is freedom. Are we deluded? Are we all like deeply confused? We believe there is freedom and we feel freedom and we experience freedom while this is all an illusion. We are all like robots, robotics. No, there is a sense of freedom. This sense of freedom is not an illusion. We know we are free. We know there is freedom. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have the word freedom in our vocabulary. What would be the point of having the word freedom if it has no meaning? It has a meaning. It didn't come from, from utter complete nonsense. But this freedom doesn't belong to Eugene. That's the key thing to understand. It's the freedom of being, of awareness, of consciousness. That is free. When we're speaking about awakening to our innate freedom, we're not talking about awakening to the innate freedom of Eugene Heck, what is Eugene? Just, a sperm and an egg and no, we're talking about consciousness, right? We're talking about consciousness, not about body, mind, Eugene. That is, the hair is shedding, the heart is beating, the cells are dying, and the beard is getting whiter and whiter every day. We're talking about consciousness.
Well, but people, they mostly want to be free in this world.
You cannot be free in this world. This world is appearing in you. You are not in this world. If you want to be free in this world, good luck. Because if you are in this world, then you are already limited. You are in this, you're something or somebody in this world. Boom, a limitation. So you want to be free? Oh, you want to become a bigger ego, a bigger boss, a bigger leader. You want to go from vice president to president, and then from president to global president, and from global president, you want to, I don't know, but it's still limited. Freedom is not in this world. It is freedom from ignorance. Why do you care that people want to be free in this world? I'm talking to Eugene. I'm not talking to all these people that.
Well, so many people, when they're young, when they're like, let's say, 13 or 21 or 25, they dream and they feel free. But when the same people, they turn like 65, they see there is no freedom.
Because the identification keeps increasing. When you are young, you have the sense of freedom more available to you. But over time, the identity of what you should do, how you should be loved, how you should be honored, the identity, the carapace, the shell becomes thicker and thicker. And so, of course, your sense of freedom diminishes, except if you are contemplating, like we do here, if you're contemplating reality, if you're contemplating that which is real. Because in the contemplation of that which is real, you're moving in the opposite direction of identification. Because you're moving in the direction of consciousness, and consciousness is complete freedom. I'm playing the game of identification, but it's complete freedom. So you will find that in most people, as life goes on, it gets narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower. Their happiness, and their sense of freedom becomes narrower. While for sages, it's the opposite direction. It just becomes more and more and more open, free, flow, harmonious. The mind becomes more and more supple and free and celebratory and happy, while in older people who are sort of living their conditioning, living according to the mind, they're just spinning repetitive stories. They're living in a bubble, the me bubble, and it feels narrow and constrained. So that which is not predetermined is your reality. Determination and predetermination are just mind stuff, narratives. They don't matter. They're not what reality is. Reality is not predetermined. Otherwise, there would be a higher reality. We are talking about the one and only reality, not about multiple layers of reality. There are multiple layers of mind, of mind states and understandings. But in terms of reality is one reality. That is something that is important to understand.
But isn't it like feeling of sorrow? I don't know if it's a good word. I think sorrow. If you look at for example, a teenager boy who wants to make a difference in the world, and you understand that it's just an illusion.
Well, it's all the game of consciousness, Eugene. It's all playful, and why not? Let's do your best to make things better in the world, and why not? Some people are very successful at making things better. Building communal facilities that help more and more people. There are many acts of kindness possible in the. It's playful, it's loving, it's creative, and it's the play of consciousness. Not to attribute reality and importance in the wrong place. Of course, it is, in a relative sense, important to have a harmonious life, a kind life, a sweet life. Yes, and the path will reveal to you as you are contemplating truth that love is the way. Honoring everybody as yourself is the way. It's a more harmonious dream. Right? Why not enjoy a happy dream? But you should not feel very depressed if the dream is not happy, because it's still a dream. Pardon. And of course, your interest is in a sweeter dream. And your understanding is that the way the dream becomes sweeter, the way this young 5-year-old person will become more happy in helping the world and making the world a better place, is via his understanding about reality. The understanding about reality dissolves the belief that you are a separate entity. And the belief that is separate entity is what separates us, is what is the root cause of unhappiness. So as this belief in being a separate entity becomes more and more transparent, you find yourself more and more loving, because you're recognizing everybody as yourself and everything as yourself. So to understand that this is how consciousness is in the human realm and our realm of experience here right now. This is how consciousness is the invitation to play the game according to the understanding. First, you have to develop the understanding about consciousness, and then live as consciousness, as universal being, not as a personal being.
I think a couple of weeks ago I saw an article in some science magazine, and that article, like, the point was, humankind, we move forward only in technology, but in consciousness we're just the same as we were like 10,000 years ago, like completely, totally, like identically the same. Isn't it like those people who realize they withdraw from the world? Is that the reason for that?
The entire world is consciousness. Ignorance only appears to be real from the perspective of ignorance. From the perspective of consciousness, there is no ignorance. So this whole story about consciousness is not developing, or in other words, ignorance is remaining the same, or ignorance is even increasing, that's an ignorant statement. That's a statement that doesn't come from understanding about consciousness and how consciousness is manifesting in the world. You're basically these statements come from the mind. They don't come from understanding about consciousness. So I don't give them any importance. They're just nonsense. Because it's attributing reality in the wrong place. It's complete nonsense.
Well, the history, like this modernism, it existed for 500 years, and it just ended like maybe like 20 years ago. And the whole point of modernism was to build a better society, which you say is just kind of ignorant.
Good luck with that. Better society, good luck. The people who are trying to build better societies end up being the worst.
Sure.
There's no love in trying to build a better society. Who do you think you are trying to build a better society? Who are you? Who are you? What are you?
Who am I?
Yeah. It's all these notions. I'm not talking about, Eugene, just, generically. The building better society. Here are the thoughts about the better society. There's only one thing that really, really is real, which is love. What does it have to do with building a better society? Saving others and, all these ideas and thoughts about. There is ego in them. If you really look closely, you will find behind the scene the dagger, the me dagger. You want to build anything, you want to build anything, start to deconstruct. And you can only deconstruct your belief and your sense of separate entity and your belief in a separate entity by investigating its reality. So first deconstruct. I don't like to use the word deconstruct, but investigate. Investigate what is it? Are you what you believe yourself to be? All these thoughts that appear to you, are you defined? Do the thoughts know you, or are you the knowingness of the thoughts? What is knowingness? Experientially, not like to go into writing a book, but experientially. What is consciousness? What is awareness? What is, or even a better direction, on what ground, on what factual ground do I believe that I am Eugene? Without denying that there is a body called Eugene, or that there is a car in the garage called the Toyota. Okay? The belief that I am Eugene, and the feeling, of course, that I am Eugene, is that evidence that I am Eugene. So this is how you can construct a better society. Okay, Eugene.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Hi, Laura. You need to unmute yourself, yeah?
Hi.
No.
How are you?
Yes.
In your meditation, you said something about If you have any wants, then can you be fully present? But what does a person do, like if you have physical pain and you have done what you can to get rid of it, but you still would want it to go away?
Yeah, no, that's not a personal desire. When I talk about
Okay.
desire, I'm talking about personal desire, but of course the body needs to breathe. It wants to eat. The pain. Pain, I mean, the body does not want pain, or tries to find out what is the pain telling me. Okay, I need to check, my lungs, check my belly. So pain is calling your attention, and yeah, I mean, also, pain sometimes tells you that you're not the body. I mean, that's a higher message, okay? That's a higher message. Because it tells you, okay, pay attention to the body, what's going on, investigate. And it also tells you you're not the body. There is pain. The pain belongs to the body, and you're perceiving the pain, you're managing the pain, you're doing your best with the pain, right? Of course. Now, in some cases, at some point, pain, can also tell you, okay, time to let go of this old shoe, time to, get rid of that clunker, right? So also pain tells you, okay, let go of the body. But in terms of, you're young, so you're exploring, of course, various ways of dealing with the pain. And I don't know much about, don't know much about medical stuff, or so you just have to continue to investigate how to manage the pain and find the cause of the pain, and also alleviate the pain.
Okay.
Yeah. I would add one more thing is sometimes when we become even anxious about the pain, or irritated about the pain, or we're struggling with fighting with the pain, it makes things a little bit worse. I know it's a challenge to be sort of open to the pain. And thank goodness we have a pain medication. I remember when Tara was in her past month, they were using a lot of methadone and morphine, to deal with the pain. Thank goodness for these medications. We have fortunate in that there is that available to us. So,
yeah. So that helps. Just the reminder that the pain is letting me know I'm not the body. Then maybe I could just observe the pain. But I guess my other question was, like, living in this world, how far, I mean, I know we can't save the world, but what are we supposed to try to do? Like, I've posted on Facebook some things about this big, beautiful betrayal bill. And I'm thinking, oh, well, the government could come after me. And then my husband has brown skin. So even though he's second generation American, I worry that he'll just get kidnapped illegally by the government. I don't know what to do. I mean, I've gone to a protest and I've called different senators, even though I'm not their constituent. It doesn't do any good. That's what it feels like.
So it's important not to operate from fear, but also to disregard caution. So it's a balance. We have to be cautious without, going into fear. There is a freedom. Bring our freedom is very important. The freedom of expression, our freedom to share and to be fearless. At the same time, of course, to be cautious. Yeah, and so you have to engage both, from your excuse me, from your heart and from your mind. The mind is also is important to guide you, and the heart is your enthusiasm and your what really resonates for you, what you want to express, what you want to share. Yeah, and the more we give in to fear, the more powerful the fear sort of becomes, and it sort of spreads. It's not just in our our body-mind experience. It actually spreads throughout the environment. Let me see. Yeah. Now, in one thing that's important to understand is that this world is not about this world. Yeah. It just doesn't mean we just sit in a cave. No, I don't mean that. To be engaged out of a place that's speaking to you, go for it, but be cautious. But it's important to understand that this world, this human experience, is not about the human experience. It's about reality. It's about, and of course, most of us live as if this world is about this world, and so we're completely, identified, and we struggle because of our identity, because of our self-separation. We struggle with each other. We struggle inwardly and outwardly. But the understanding that this world is about awakening, is about understanding, the understanding about reality, the reality of consciousness, is an important, crucial, core gift from God that comes to some of us to contemplate and to live as best we can. So you have to bring both of these together. The engagement in what resonates for you in the world, caution in a cautious way, and of course, your contemplation about the reality of your experience, the reality of consciousness.
Okay. Even though the world isn't real, I still feel like people's suffering that will result from the government's actions. I just don't feel like it's right or just, or that I can just turn a blind eye.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not saying that the world is not real. I'm saying the world is not real of its own. It's real as consciousness. And because the world is nothing else but consciousness, consciousness gets involved in the world. Opposes or writes letters, or whatever way it comes to you to engage, with what the government is doing and all the oppression and all the ICE bullshit. So I'm not in any way speaking about overlooking all of that.
Okay.
It affects every one of us differently, you see. And because you have a lot of heart, it's coming to you, in a way that's calling you to engage. Just
Okay.
Just some question, because people can get really crazy. I mean, there's think about the masses. Sometimes the few can spread throughout the masses a certain virus, of anger and let's get all the immigrants, they're ravaging our country. I mean, it's like it doesn't take much to get the herd to jump into the water.
Right.
What can we?
Yeah.
Part of the game. Okay, Laura. Nice.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Hi, Nitin. You need to unmute yourself. And yes, okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, just a quick thing. So the question that Eugene asked, I also used to have this similar kind of question before, but just a quick input from my side. Well, not input from my side because I'm not an original thinker. I always read, and there are great sages and everyone who basically write things, and I just listen to it. I don't have anything of my own. I shamelessly just take it because I don't have any original thinking of me. But what helped me to convince my mind was, I mean, what has been written, I think some of you already know it, that the world is just a stage of actors. We are all just acting, and our duty is just to act nicely, positively, add value to the other actors. But always remember at the end, we are just acting. And then when the stage is done, when the act is done, you are going to go back to your true self, like how an actor acts in a movie and go back home and he knows that he's not an actor, like a Hollywood actor or whatever it is. So if you have that awareness that at the end is just acting, everybody's acting, you do your best acting and add value to the others. And also speaking about problems and hear this thing, if the person who created this universe, if you look at the grand scheme of things, what he created, if he wants to fix it, he can fix it in a very quick. So he doesn't need our help to fix it. But what he sees is he put you in a role with all this surrounding, and he watches you and see how best you act, whether you just look at it and sit there or you add value to everything. So I think he knows you have to do an acting, so act well, add value to the others, make them act well, and at the end realize it's all acting at the end. So this kind of convinced me, and then my monkey mind stopped asking me questions after that. Just thought of sharing. I don't know whether
Yes.
all of them will align with it, but thought of just sharing with data point. Thanks.
Oh, thank you for sharing, definitely. Just you see, we are the actor on the stage, and we are the choreographer. We're not just the actor, we are also the choreographer. And not only we are the choreographer, but we are also the stage. And not only we are the actor and the choreographer and the stage, but we are also all actors, all stages. There's one choreographer that is choreographing all actors, and that is choreographing all the stages. But the actors and the stages and all the various plays that are unfolding are the actor itself, are the choreographer itself. A good metaphor for that is in the night dream. In your night dream, you can dream that there are 50 people having dinner because it's Christmas, whatever, they're having dinner. And every person is having a different experience, their different thoughts, their different personalities, their different feelings. Some like to eat beans, others like to eat mashed potatoes, and they're all are different actors with their different experiences. But in fact, all their thoughts, all their personalities, all their experiences, all their sensations, all their perceptions, you are the reality, because you are dreaming all of them. You are dreaming all their thoughts, you're dreaming all their sensations, you're dreaming all their experiences. So we are not just actors in the dream. We are the entirety. We are all of it. We are the reality, the one and only reality. of all
Oh, thank you.
dreams and all
Thanks,
that.
man.
Well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you for this wonderful gathering, and have a lovely Sunday. Enjoy.
Thank you.